So something I forgot to mention in my previous videos about refrigerator and cooling was how it would apply to houses and stuff. Maybe this means that in a building, well, in some buildings, they've already do this, is having central heating and cooling place would be more efficient. They already do this in many buildings, apartment buildings. However, it could also be more efficient is to have a cold line of fluids. And this cold line of fluids, it's a cold air that you can adjust just based on from apartment to apartment. And you mix it in with the air. So if you want to have an apartment one apartment wants to have 65 and one apartment wants to have 68 degrees, you pump in air that's 10 degrees and it just cools off the rest of the air. This bigger, huge, massive one on below would make it more efficient. The same as with heating. So like and it'll give you very fast responses. We always kind of also do this with water and stuff. And it's just a design idea. Now, some apartment buildings almost do this, pretty much. You also see this a little bit in Tesla cars, actually, and other devices. The scale of this really has to depend because it does cost extra money to cool stuff down extra. The more you cool it down, the harder it is to cool something down. So it might save more energy to cool it down a little bit. Now my way around this would be have one big thing that would cool it maybe down to 60, let's say 66 degrees, but one person from 68 to 66 degrees, it pumps out that air. Now, for the one person that wants it extra cold, it pumps it down, it cools it down. There's a smaller one that has less capacity that just does the final step of 1 degree Celsius cooler. So you have one overall unit and you have small ones for the fine adjustments. That I think could be very efficient, but will mean we have to make very efficient, cheap ones. The other thing I forgot to mention with cooling and heating is another reason why bigger computers and bigger refrigerators and stuff are more efficient. It has to do with electricity. Bigger wires conduct electricity much more efficiently than smaller wires. Bigger wires also can hold a much stronger magnetic field more efficiently with less resistance. For the same flow reasons as kind of the small wire ones, except for now you have, instead of a pipe, you have electricity flowing through a wire. Other thing is that bigger motors can be made more efficient because the magnetic fields decay the farther away from the stuff something is. But a bigger magnetic field from a stronger magnet, it decays less fast, and you can confine it better as decays less fast, and you can confine better, and that means that your motor can be more efficient as pumping everything or doing anything, and more efficient. And remember, it's not only more efficient with electrical energy, but any inefficiencies actually make heat. So that's even more a point for like a refrigerator or something. The other thing is when you have is the electronic controls for the motors and everything can be more precise, and all your controls use up power. If you have something like on a micro scale pumps, that's a huge amount of power compared to thing, because you have to control it almost with the same amount of power you need to control a 10 ton thing system. You just have to turn it on and off. It's a very little controls you need, but it's a big deal only on a small scale. So all these things mean that a much smaller one is a ton more efficient than a much bigger one. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you very much. Goodbye.